This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing bad. How are you
Why
doing?
are you doing bad?
Tom, it's been a bad November for old Tim.
Tim, it's literally November 1st. Not to date this podcast, but it's November 1st.
We're recording on November 1st. It's been a bad day for me.
It's been a bad day for me. I ate too much candy.
I did too.
I felt sick all day. And I knew I was going to feel sick, but that couldn't stop me from eating like half a bag of Swedish fish.
This is what sucks about Halloween when you're a grown-up.
Yeah.
I had candy for breakfast and lunch today.
Well, it doesn't sound like it
nothing but
sucks.
candy today.
Yeah, I mean, that's not
cool when you're 6.
Yeah,
but then
you
your
also
parents
can't
are like,
do
yeah,
it
well,
when you're 6.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And there's a reason.
Yeah.
They were right. They were right to make us eat other things.
But you know what? Their reason wasn't you'll feel sick. It was more like you're gonna go off the walls bonkers.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah. I only somewhat recently learned that when I was a kid, I was never given chocolate because I would go absolutely insane. And as a kid, I think I kind of like I had like Stockholm syndrome, and I thought I didn't like chocolate.
Oh wow, that's smart.
Yeah,
your parents were very smart.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, I was just like, no, I don't really like chocolate.
Poop, brown, chocolate, brown.
I don't think they even had to go that far. I think they were just like, no, you don't like chocolate, and I was like, yeah, I don't like chocolate. Yeah. But it worked. I mean, I would eat other crap, but I wouldn't eat chocolate. Apparently, it was beyond just like like sugar would make me crazy, but like chocolate, it was like they had to call the cops. He's got a knife.
You should I don't know. You should never give a child a knife.
No, they didn't give it to me, Tim.
Oh.
I found it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you should lock up your knives if you're in a house with children.
Come on. You can keep the steak knives in the kitchen.
I don't know. Not if you're going to have chocolate in the house, too,
Yeah.
Tom.
When I was a kid, too, I didn't understand why. I was like, it's a great thing. Because, when you're a kid, you can't, like, you can't cook anything. You don't know how to make anything, but you still...
I could make things.
But you still want to make stuff?
I could microwave stuff.
I'm talking about, like, earlier than that. Before you're trusted with microwave privileges.
Okay.
Like, when you're very young, like
I feel
5,
like I was trusted with
4 or 5.
microwave privileges pretty early.
Well, not if you were calling it microwave.
Microwave.
Tom,
I have marbles in my mouth. I'm sorry.
I would, like the first thing I learned how to make, quote unquote, was just putting butter on bread. And I was just like, man, this is great. Like, I'll eat this all the time. And my parents were like, no, it's not good for you. And I'm like, no, it seems like it's good. It's very simple ingredients, butter and bread.
The best ingredients.
Better
ingredients, better buttered bread.
Yeah.
Tom, you're not even going to ask me why I'm bad?
I was busy talking about myself. Why are you bad?
Tom, can I ask you, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself here. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
To set the stage, it is October 31st, the night of Halloween. Mm-hmm. I decide with my wife to order burritos from seamless.com.
Okay.
There are 2 places in our neighborhood that we get burritos from.
Right, because you don't want to exhaust their supply.
Well, no. One, I'm like, they put a lot of vegetables in it, which is nice sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes I just want like a garbage burrito, right? With like less vegetables and more like cheese.
Right. Like beans and rice.
Right.
Uh-huh.
To be clear, there's beans and rice in both, but the one has more. But here's the thing.
But you're like, I don't want a vegetarian burrito. I want just a burrito without meat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the one...
Don't put healthy stuff in there.
The one without all the vegetables, you have to eat with a knife and fork because they put sour cream and cheese on the outside of it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's an enchilada, isn't it?
I don't know what that is, Tom.
Well, enchilada requires sauce, but yeah.
So
it's
anyway.
a wet burrito.
So I got the we got the one that you could eat with our
Wet.
hands, right? The vegetable burritos, and that's the kind of one where it's like, yeah, I just want to sit back, watch Shark Tank on Hulu, and eat a burrito with my hands, right? We don't need silverware for this. We're doing that last night. It's great eating this, and I take a bite. There's something weird. I'm just like, I should just swallow it. And then I was just like, wait, no, don't swallow it. Like, you've never tasted this before. Let's investigate. So I pull it out of my mouth, and it keeps
But you
coming
were
out.
thinking like, yeah, this is not going to end well, and I'd like to just eat the rest of his burrito.
Exactly. And I
In
pull it
blissful
out.
ignorance.
Pull it out. It's like, what is this, some sort of worm? Nope. It was a rubber band. There was a rubber band in my burrito. Now, Tom. That's gross, right?
It's not as gross as a finger, which
Right?
is what I thought you were going to say. Maybe
You
it was
thought
just
I found a finger in my burrito, and I'm just telling you about it right now?
maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know your list of priorities. I mean, what am I going to do about it?
So number one, Tom, I am grateful that I pulled it out of my mouth.
Yeah, thank
'Cause, like,
goodness it wasn't a finger.
I could have choked, right? If it was a rubber band. It was a big rubber band.
Don't get dramatic. You would have been
Tom.
fine.
Would I? Or would I have choked? I don't think I would have died, but it would have been like a situation, and like I would have been like, "Oh my god, I could have died."
Oh, maybe it would have been a wake-up call to chew your food better.
I did chew my food. That's how I found out about it,
Yeah.
Tom. Tom, why do you have to turn everything into an attack or like, Tim, you're a real big fucking idiot? Like I can't tell a story without you being like, Tim, well, you're pretty dumb. You
Well,
really are a dumb asshole. Sick of it.
Well,
I could have died. I could have choked on a rubber band, and you're just like, huh, well, you're not as smart as me. You're not even that smart, Tom.
I've never eaten a rubber band.
Neither did I.
I've eaten a couple of rubber bands
Now-
purposefully.
Now, Tom, here's what I don't. Here's the thing.
It looked like spaghetti at the time.
No. I stopped eating that burrito,
Okay.
even though I was still hungry. I ate the chips. We got chips too. But I can't order from that place again, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's an honest mistake, right? They keep like bunches like there's
was it
cilantro that
broccoli, maybe a broccoli rubber band.
No, it wasn't that thick.
it wasn't. What were those? The wad, the guy from The Sopranos was selling those broccoli rubber bands as like a wallet.
What
You
are
don't
you
remember
talking
this?
about? What guy from the Sopranos? Polly Walnuts?
It wasn't Polly Walnut.
Christopher?
It wasn't Christopher.
Carmela?
It wasn't Carmela. It was one of the boys.
AJ? Anthony Jr.?
No, it wasn't Anthony Jr. It was like somebody I think that got killed. I think it was Big P Word
Yeah.
that was selling them. Because that's like a very mafioso thing to do to keep your wad of cash with a broccoli rubber band. Did you know that?
No.
Apparently it is. Hey, I need a very thick rubber band to hold all my cash. But he was selling them on like late night TV. It was just like a broccoli rubber band with like a gold colored plastic like dollar sign.
Wow.
I've seen them in stores. I haven't seen them in stores. I've seen them in rest stops. But yeah, you can hold all your money in there. But the thing is, you need a lot of money to keep that rubber band taut.
That's not what almost killed me last night, Tom.
Okay, well,
This was just like a rubber band that you'd find around like I would think it probably came from like the cilantro.
okay.
So like I didn't
relatively thin.
Yeah, I was telling people about this and they were like, "Oh my god, you must be eating for free for the rest of your life." It's like, "No." They're like,
Every
"Well,
restaurant.
what did they say when you called them?" It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't friggin' call them. Like it was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
But still, I have a feeling I'm going to be eating burritos with a knife and fork for the foreseeable future, right?
Did you? So you didn't eat any of the rest of the burrito?
No, I was about halfway through.
Yeah. I would probably like pull apart that burrito, but I'd eat the rest of it.
No, that means you're a sicko, Tom. Because at the
Well-
very least, that rubber band wasn't like clean.
It was on the vegetables.
Yeah, but if
Yeah, they ain't cleaned the vegetables.
If
they didn't take the rubber band
if
off.
the rubber band holding the vegetables together
Yeah.
survived the cleaning,
Yeah.
that those vegetables weren't cleaned very well.
It's a sign
It's
that
the canary
there-
in the coal mine, Tom.
Yeah, it's a sign that there's not attention to detail at this particular establishment.
Right.
It's
Which
been-
I didn't expect there was either.
We're-
They're burritos you order and they're at your door in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a place like that, actually, and it's a burrito place near me that actually like really don't order from anymore because it always makes me sick and I have no idea why. And I mostly order salads from them.
Probably because the food's bad. And you're lying.
tastes
I
good.
mostly order salads. You've never eaten a salad in your life.
No, because they have like the salad is gigantic. So then I'll eat a salad if it's like 3 meals worth of salads.
As long as you could be a monster in some way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's very good. It always tastes delicious, and like I said, it's a ton of food, and it's cheap, and it's quick, and it doesn't.
Look, Tom, one time it makes you sick. Maybe you try one more time. But if it's
It
made you
always
sick on multiple occasions, you should never order from there again.
No, but it doesn't make me like sick in a conventional sense. It puts me in like a fugue state. Maybe it's just because I'm eating too much.
Yeah.
That might be what it is. But it always just makes me.
Is there chocolate in it?
There's a little chocolate on the top as a not on the top, on the bottom as a dessert when you're done with everything else.
The buried treasure, they call it.
Yeah. So you're not going to order from this burrito place
Well,
anymore.
here's the thing. I don't want
Okay.
to eat burritos with a knife and fork for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you're
I'm not going to move in the foreseeable future. I think this will all blow over in a couple weeks. I think I need to eat 2 burritos from the other place and then really be in the mood to hunker down and watch some Shark Tank and eat with my hands. But I'm going to be on the lookout. I don't want to have to live looking over my shoulder before every bite.
Yeah.
That's like living like the Sopranos, Tom.
Exactly.
With my broccoli friggin' rubber band
Yeah.
money and looking over my shoulder to make sure that
Thinking there are black helicopters circling.
yeah, and a rubber band looking to jump in my throat.
Why don't you get some burrito gloves for the other place and just eat with your hands? Get some nice dishwashing gloves.
Do you think there's a line of big burrito gloves?
Tim, I should have started this episode by saying it's a me, Tom.
Do you want to? All right, do a take. I'm
Okay.
editing this week.
Yes.
I'll put it at the beginning of the episode. I'll replace it
Okay. Ready?
Mhm.
Count me down.
in 5,
I don't
4.
need a count from 5. I'm a professional.
2,
Well, no, you got to do it from 3. Come on.
3, 2,
No, you don't have to say 2. Just show the fingers.
and a 3, and a.
You don't, no, Tim, you don't need to say "enda" either. That's
That's just a verbal take. Well, I'll cut that out as well.
okay. Well, should we gag you before it?
What?
Well, so you don't say the "and."
No, I said I'll cut it out.
Well, but it's distracting to me.
And a 3.
Well, and a 3? There wasn't even a 4. It's
In my head, I was counting from 5
Oh,
in my head. That
okay.
was the silence.
right.
All right, let's go. And a 3.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. It's a me, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
No.
I'm not gonna. I'm the Luigi to your Mario in this scenario.
Oh, you would be glad to be it. You'd be lucky to be it.
What would I be? You want me to be Peach, you pervert. You're always trying to kiss me, Tom. You're always trying to save me from people. I don't need saving.
Mario doesn't try and kiss Peach.
What?
He doesn't try and kiss her. He wants to marry her.
Yeah, what do you
But
think
he's
marriing's
very-
about? Kissing.
Well, but he's very
Kissing day and night.
Is that-
Morning, noon, and night. It's
well,
all kissing.
Tim, you're a newlywed, so
Yeah.
you have to tell me.
Take it from me.
It sounds like you don't like it. It sounds like it's too much kissing for you.
What do you mean? It's great. I love all the kissing. Move on.
We're talking about Super Mario this week.
Yes.
Because guess what? He's just released his latest game.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
You say Mario.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Because I don't want letters about this. I say Mario.
I used to say Mario.
Yeah.
Then
What?
I went to college, Tom, to get more knowledge. You apparently went to Jupiter to get more stupider. But I went to college, and everybody relentlessly made, when I was like, let's play Mario Kart, because that was like what we did freshman year. It was
Right.
kind of our floors thing. Floor 6, Weinstein Hall. Shout out. But everybody was like, you mean Mario?
Yeah.
And so I just started saying Mario to fit in, and that's why I have so many friends.
I did not care about fitting in college.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Well, I mean, I'm barely in touch with anyone I know from college. But
You were a troll in college, right?
What do you mean a troll?
I don't know, you
I
mustache.
didn't, what, Tim? Don't say things like that in this political climate. That is not a fun. All I said was that you kiss your wife all the time.
Yeah, well, I accuse you of being a troll, Tom. And also, like, maybe you should have been nicer to me instead of being like, you're being dramatic about choking on that rubber band.
Well,
This is you. This is on you. You created this climate.
you did this to yourself.
Sorry, Tom. You didn't actually do that.
No, I mean, I was relentlessly teased about other words that I say with a Long Island accent.
Like what?
Water. Because I don't say water, I say water.
Water?
Yeah.
You have kind of like a Pittsburgh thing. You say
Yeah.
like water.
I say water and I say sore instead of saw.
Yeah, that's not Long Island.
Yeah, and that's, I think it, like in retrospect, the people making fun of my accent were all from Long Island, even though I was in a different state.
Right.
But nobody, it wasn't until like very recently that I learned people don't say Mario, they say Mario.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hang with mostly Italian stuff.
Right.
People who born and raised in Italy.
Who have the broccoli wads.
No, Tom, that's a stereotype.
What? All Italians love broccoli and recycling. And they recycle their, I mean, some Italians like you eat rubber bands, but these ones.
I didn't eat it. Tom, now you're twisting my words. Yeah, just the way, I know it was a Charlie Chaplin mustache, Tom, because you love silent film. I know. But I said it was another thing. But you have to be divisive.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be divisive right back. And this, Tom, I think we taught America a lesson right now.
You know very well that I had a mustache and a goatee in high school that I got rid of in college. I grew out of it.
Did you shave it in college?
I'm sure I had it again at like some points, but yeah, I don't remember specifically having it
Yeah.
because I only had it in high school to buy beer.
Yeah, and to walk around and be like, hey, check out my hot rod. You always were building a hot rod.
I was always building a hot rod and never finished it.
Nobody ever finishes their hot rod.
Tim, you're thinking of Tim Allen from Home Improvement. That's the only frame of reference you have for this.
Yeah. I figured it was
Name
working off
another example of
felt-
somebody who
I
hasn't.
thought maybe it was working off a trope about hot rods in general.
No, I think it was a trope about Tim Allen
Yeah.
just being like a kind of a dummy a little bit.
Well,
A man
How
who
dare
does
you
not
say
finish what he starts.
Tom, maybe that's a stereotype of all hot rod builders. I don't know of anyone who's ever built a hot rod, Tom.
Oh, I think I do know actually.
Tom,
I
I
have
thought
a
we were talking
relative
about
who built a hot rod.
You don't. You said that to look cool. But let's talk about Mario.
Yeah. This is
This is a surprisingly contentious episode.
yeah. This is Super Mario Odyssey. He's going on an Odyssey,
Right.
like the Odyssey,
Right.
which is the name of his ship in the video game.
Wow, Tom.
It is for the Nintendo Switch. I have it sitting right here.
You brought your Nintendo Switch to the studio for some reason.
I was planning on playing while we recorded.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could just do, and I'll be like, oh, almost. Let me try
to
that
give
again.
to give listeners an idea of what it's like to hang out with you.
But this,
Sometimes you're like, hey, let's record at my house. And it's like, cool, I'll go to your apartment. And then I just sit there for 2.5 hours while you play video games. And you're like, oh, isn't this a thrill for you to watch?
are you not entertained?
Tom, I have an older brother.
No.
I've watched more video games played than I've ever played by like 10 times. And my brother was a nice boy
Yes.
about it. And I still barely ever got to play. I was forever
no room,
Luigi.
No room for nice boys in video games. Well, I've said
That's for goddamn sure.
I've said multiple times on this show and in life, Luigi's the better brother.
Why?
He's taller. He's skinnier. He's more afraid of ghosts. When he jumps, he can jump higher and he has less control. And his legs spin around.
Okay. That checks out.
No, I've always liked Luigi more. Even though, you know what? Green for a long time was one of my favorite colors, but now it's red.
Nice to see that at 36 you've evolved your favorite color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what, Tim?
I got more information.
Yeah, well, I'm blossoming into myself, and I'm realizing, maybe my favorite colors weren't my favorite colors. And lately, my favorite color is red. Past couple of years, so
Wow.
put that in your hat. Keep that in your hat. Keep that under your hat.
Tom, can we talk about Mario, please? Instead
Yes.
of your favorite colors, and
Super-
instead of this Luigi fella.
Super Mario Odyssey, fantastic game. Luigi's not in it, which is
What? Really?
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Wow. If I were you, I'd just throw that Nintendo Switch right in the
You
trash.
can buy, spoiler alert, I haven't gotten to this yet, but you can buy...
Wait, hold on. Is this an actual spoiler? I know this is a game
No,
where
I
I've
haven't-
never seen more like spoiler alerts on casual.
Yeah. No, this is not a
articles.
spoilery thing, because you can get this even if you have an amiibo. You can buy... I'll get to it. You can buy Luigi's hat and clothes and dress Mario up as Luigi.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him tall and skinny and
No.
make him jump higher
No.
lose control
You
and
can
spin his
do
legs around.
apparently the same thing with Wario and
Wario.
and Waluigi.
Waluigi is the dumbest name.
But here's the thing: in Japan,
Why don't they call it Luigi?
No, it's like a weird thing. Waluigi translates to something that works better than Wario.
Well, guess what, Tom? That's all good and well for the Japanese.
Right.
But for the Americans, we need Luigi.
See, no, that's too...
Once you learn it, Luigi.
No. Wario and Waluigi are
Why would it be
what their names
Wario
are.
and not Wario? Like war.
Well, I mean, maybe it is like Wario. I don't know. It's just an upside down M. That's the whole shtick. That's the whole...
So why is
But I think
Luigi? You put the L
Waluigi-
upside down and you put an F.
The L is upside down on his hat.
But that's not a letter. That's the problem.
L is a letter.
Not an upside down L.
No. It's probably like a Russian letter. They have a lot of upside down letters.
We can talk about Mario or what, Tom?
Yes. So I haven't beaten the game yet, despite playing a heck of a lot of it. But Luigi's not in it.
Okay. Is King Koopa in it?
King Koopa, this King Koopa, Bowser, to the colloquially known as Bowser.
I show him nothing but respect for my king.
You know what this guy's up to again?
He's stealing the princess that you want to kiss.
Yeah, he's trying to marry her himself. And this jerk has the nerve to put posters up all over the place about the wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm up to the level where I'm like Mario crashing the wedding. And Mario buys into all this. He wears a white tuxedo to the wedding.
What?
Yeah.
She's being married without against her will?
Without her consent whatsoever.
And Mario's just buying into it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I bought him some nice outfits in this game.
What? There's too much clothes buying in modern video games.
No, that's what makes modern video games great. Ian, it's like when you were a kid, when you were a boy, you never wanted to play with paper dolls.
Not really.
I did. But not with like the girl paper dolls. I wanted like boy paper dolls.
You know what I didn't like about paper dolls?
What?
It was tough to cut. It was tough to cut them out.
Yeah, just had to be careful.
I was also a lefty, and they never had left-handed scissors.
I'm a lefty too, man. Just gotta go slow and steady.
Yeah, I didn't have the patience.
But
I was allowed to eat chocolate, so I didn't do very many things slowly.
Actually, I use scissors righty. That's one of my things.
I learned to use scissors righty.
I'm not lefty. I'm cross dominant. You know what that means? It's not a sexual thing.
No, that sounds like a millennial thing.
I don't know.
Something like that your uncle would confront you about at Thanksgiving dinner.
So your mom tells me you're cross dominant.
What does that even mean? What does that mean? No, I'm just curious. I'm just curious what it means because we used to call it ambidextrous. What's the difference, and what's offensive about ambidextrous?
I'll tell you what the difference is, Tim. Ambidextrous means you can use both hands just as well for tasks. Cross dominant means you use some hands for some tasks, some hands for other tasks. I write and draw lefty, but pretty much.
You draw?
I draw.
I'd like to see some of your drawings one day.
Oh, I have a lot of you. I'll be happy to show them to you. They're caricatures, so you're not going to like a lot of them.
Are they offensive caricatures?
They're not offensive, but they're very mean.
Are they all of me eating spaghetti?
They're unfairly you eating spaghetti and just making a real mess. But yeah, so I write and draw lefty, but like anything else, like sports and what was the thing I just mentioned?
Using scissors.
Scissors, righty. Those things, righty. Pretty much anything where this is how I think I became cross dominant. That I'm a lefty, but I'm lazy. So anything where it was like too hard to do lefty, where it was like, oh, we don't have a lefty scissors or whatever, I was like, fine, just give me what you got. I'll make
Tom,
it work.
Let me ask you this.
I know what you're going to ask, and yes, I am one of the best cutters that you've ever seen.
I don't know.
Very handy with a pair of scissors. Tim.
I don't know
Give me
that
a pair
to be
of
true.
scissors and some construction paper, and I'm going to make one of those things that you pull out. What are those things called?
I don't know what you're talking
Where
about.
you cut a pattern, then you pull it out, and you're like, oh, look at this. They're all holding hands.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. One of those things.
That's a thing. What's
yeah,
the
it
name
is
of
a
it?
thing. A banner or something.
Sure, I'm one of the best banner makers the world's ever known.
Tom? Why do you act like I'm a jerk for suggesting something? You didn't know the word. I know this isn't the correct word. I threw something out there, and then you were just like, "Yeah, that's what it is." You didn't know the word either. I'm offering a suggestion. You need to be nicer to me, Tom.
I was being 100% sincere when I said I'm
nicer to me.
You
can't talk to me like
one
this.
of the best banner makers that the world's ever seen.
Ooh,
it's a
I'm
very
gonna wallop you one of these days, Tom.
So, Super Mario Odyssey is a very fun game. I wish you could play it, but unfortunately, I just have these one controllers. Actually, I don't. You can use the other controller. Here's one of the things they changed. This is why there's no Luigi. It is 2-player. You know who the second player plays as?
Luigi.
Mario's hat.
I don't want to play as a hat, Tom.
Well, you don't even know what this hat's capable of.
Tell me about this hat.
First off, the hat's got a name.
But you didn't tell me the name.
Can you guess what would you call a hat?
Cap.
Cappy. Yes, you got it.
Wow. All right.
The hat's name.
Sign me up, Nintendo.
The hat's name is Cappy.
Mm-hmm.
You throw them at things. And this is not, they're not rewriting history here. Mario's hat was not always sentient, but he is in this game.
Is there lore behind it? Do you find out how it became sentient?
Well, he comes from the I forget what it's called. I think it might be like the Cappy Kingdom. It's where all the hats live.
Like the Crappy Kingdom. We're talking about storytelling.
I'd love to see you go to Cappy Kingdom and say that. You get your ass kicked. You get by hats of all sorts.
What are they going to kick me with, Tom?
They can throw themselves these hats.
You know what they should do?
What?
With all those bags of Andy Capp's hot fries?
Completely unrelated.
No, they should rebrand them as Cappy's hot fries. And then all the kids would be going mad for them.
You think the people that make Andy Capp's hot fries have the ability to license Nintendo?
They got Andy Capp back in 1943 or whatever.
Tim,
is Andy Capp in the public domain yet? Can we have like?
Can we start making our own Andy Capp's hot fries?
Yeah, it wouldn't be hot fries; it'd be like fire fries, or
right?
something.
Because Andy Capp's hot fries are not in the public domain,
right? Exactly.
But Andy Capp might be at this point.
Yeah.
I unaware, Tim. I've never.
Is Cappy in the public domain?
Cappy
yet?
is not in the public domain. Cappy is a young.
You don't know how old he is.
That's not how copyright works.
That would suck if it was based on the age of the character, because it'd be like Mr. Magoo would be immediately in the public domain.
Or the
oh no, wait, they have to die first. The ghost Casper would be in the public domain from day one.
Maybe, yeah. I was gonna say the Twilight vampires, but yeah, only the dead ones.
Yeah,
it's
70. No, they're neither dead nor alive.
Oh, that's true. I don't know if the U.S. copyright laws have anything about undead. Otherwise, you could be writing all of your Edward.
That's why we need to know more lawyers, Tom.
I don't feel the need.
So we can publish books with Edward in them.
All the lawyers I do know, I ask them questions like this constantly, and they tell me not to. They tell me to please stop. That they don't know if I could make my own hot fries.
Well,
that
we
they're
all know,
quote unquote not that type of lawyer, like there are other types.
Tom, we've proven we can make our own hot fries. We've
cracked the recipe.
Yeah, we have a great recipe. I think they're better than Andy Capp's.
They're certainly hotter.
Yeah, we should
They're
get
dangerously hot.
The Nintendo folks on the line
and make Cappy's hot fries.
Yes. What are we talking about here? I thought we were talking about Mario, Tom.
We are talking about Mario.
Now you're trying to steer the conversation into hot fries.
The new Mario game. I was talking about Cappy. So Cappy, here's the thing that Bowser did. Bowser took Cappy's sister, who's also a Cap, and he made her be a princess tiara for Princess Peach.
Subjugation.
It is, and also like.
Wait, so hold on.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take a look at what.
That's why Cappy's. That's
so
why he's in this.
There's Cappy Land, right, where they all live.
Yeah, where they're all hats.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly Mario is just like, you're gonna come be my hat in the Toad Kingdom.
No. Because listen, Cappy's got a stake in the game too, because Bowser took his sister.
Oh, so they're working together.
They're both like, hey, look, this son of a bitch took somebody we care about.
Well, I wouldn't say the B word, but go on.
Well, Cappy says it. He says something
in the
much
game?
worse. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
He calls Bowser a motherfucker. It's very off-putting. It's strange when he says it. But they have a common goal, a common purpose. But I thought, I forgot that halfway through the game, and I started getting very, not nostalgic, but maybe I was shipping. You know what shipping is?
No, I don't know what
not
shipping is.
When you're not the UPS, not FedEx. When you want two characters and a thing to be in a relationship.
That's what shipping is?
That's what shipping is.
People care too much about things.
Well, I'm watching this thing, and as the story's going along,
I'm
like,
want Mario to kiss Cappy.
No. Oh, it'd be weird if I beat the game and he was actually in love with Cappy's sister the whole time. If he had like a hat fetish, which would make a lot of sense with the rest of the game. Tim, did you know before this game, which, like I said, is phenomenal. I can't recommend this game enough.
And it's new.
It's brand new. It
It's
just came
hot
out.
off the presses.
Yeah. Well, they put it to a cartridge this time.
I heard you could download it without a cartridge.
You could download it without a
But
cartridge.
then what's the resale value? 0, right?
Well, and you're going to take up space on your Nintendo Switch.
Exactly. Imagine everybody was like, oh, no need to buy the Death of Superman comic. I'll just download it.
Yeah, and those
Then they wouldn't have been rich like us, who sold our copies of the Death of Superman for hundreds of thousands of dollars. They were
Even the
collector's
open
items.
ones.
Yeah. As long as you kept the armband intact.
Which I have. Well, I put a safety pin through it when I wore it. The entire franchise, the Super Mario franchise, including Super Mario, Mario Kart, which you like, Mario Party, tennis, and golf, has sold more than 500 million copies. That's a lot, huh?
Tom, can I have no basis. I have no idea what that is in relation to other video games. However,
Yeah.
are they counting Donkey Kong?
I don't know if I'm sure they are, because that was a big seller. I read in my research that they sold 6 million copies of Donkey Kong for ColecoVision. I didn't know they made that many ColecoVisions. I had a cousin who had a Coleco.
Man, that's even trashier than Sega.
She was a little bit older, so
This is an old cousin you had.
it was an old cousin.
An old depressing cousin you had.
And she had.
She seems very nice.
You have no idea who I'm talking about.
She had a Coleco.
She had a ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers: The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. Have you ever seen that motion picture?
Wait, that was a movie?
That was a movie. It was an anime movie.
Yeah.
I know you're a big anime guy.
I've never.
It's not one of those perverted animes, though, so you might not have seen it. But this was actually the first movie based on a video game.
When did that come out?
1986.
Wow. Is it? Wait, does that predate the Super Mario Brothers video game?
No.
Okay.
I mean...
Stop looking at me like I'm an adult.
Well, you think they based the video game on a movie?
Maybe.
That would be crazy. I think we'd all know that.
They based my favorite video game on a movie.
What's Home Alone?
E.T.
Oh, E.T.
Yeah.
No, they. I didn't even know that there was a Super Mario Brothers. Thank God I didn't, because if I were a kid and I knew there was a motion picture length Super Mario cartoon, I would have gone to any length that an 8-year-old could.
You'd have been
see.
very confused.
Probably, because it would have been all in Japanese. One time when I was a kid, me, AJ, friend of the show, his dad took us to Nassau Coliseum to go to a comic book convention when we were all like, I don't know, maybe like 10 years old, a bunch of us kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a Japanese movie, not knowing it was in Japanese and that it was like inappropriate for a kid.
Okay.
Anyway,
Did you watch it? It was on VHS?
It was on VHS. And it was, like a bootleg or whatever. Anyway.
Did you ever watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show starring Captain Lou Albano?
I did, Tim. Captain Lou Albano and Danny Wells as Luigi.
Oh, wow, Tom, did you know that off the top of your head? The way you looked at me looked like you were trying to convince me that you knew that.
No.
As if I'd be impressed by the fact that you knew that trivia.
Did you watch this TV show when it was around? This was on Channel 11 here, right? WPIX?
It was, but at some point... Oh, it wasn't on NBC. The NBC one
That was
had,
later. That was once Nintendo realized, we shouldn't just license our most popular characters to whatever garbage.
Yeah, and they had, the eggplant guy was in it. It was, all the different Nintendo stars teamed up.
Oh, yeah. Captain N.
Yeah, and a
something.
boy got sucked into the TV.
Yeah,
And there was a
and
dog
he was
there,
killed.
too. No, he wasn't killed.
Oh, he wasn't.
He went on adventures with the Nintendo crew.
That's what. So the Super Mario cartoon that I was reading about, the original cartoon movie, apparently in that movie, it sounds like it was very meta that the Super Mario gets sucked into a Nintendo while playing
His own game?
not his own game, but like he sees like the princess getting captured. I don't know what game that was supposed to be that he was playing that he got
Maybe
sucked
Donkey
into.
Kong. But
No,
he was the
in
protagonist of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, he was Jumpman.
Yeah. Really makes you think, Tom.
Tim, I want to go through some of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Wait, hold on.
What?
We're currently on Netflix, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Tom, don't get too excited. I watched 4 minutes of it before I was like, life's too short to revisit this. Like, this is not, it's the wrong kind of nostalgic. It was like, oh no, everything I ever liked was terrible. My life has been a waste.
Well, maybe this will change the way you think about it, Tim, because I've got some trivia about that show for you.
Okay.
First things first, there were a lot of celebrity guest stars.
No, there weren't. Milli Vanilli. I remember the one episode where Milli Vanilli was supposedly in it, but they didn't even do their own voices.
Let me name some of these guest stars listed on the Wikipedia page for this. Nedra Vols,
Who's that?
Norman Fell.
Hey, Norman Fell is Mr. Roper?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I right on that?
Donna Douglas.
I know Donna Dixon. Was it Donna Dixon?
It wasn't Donna Dixon. It was Donna Douglas. Eve Plum.
Hey, Jan Brady.
These are some A-list celebrities.
Hey, it's better than...
in like the early 90s. Vanna White, who actually at that time was a get.
Yeah.
Jim Lang.
Who's Jim Lang?
Don't know. Danica McKellar.
Hey, Winnie Cooper.
Yes. Nicole Eggert.
She was on Charles in Charge.
Yes. Claire Carey. Brian Bonsall. And
Why are you saying these names if you don't know who they are?
Professional athletes such as Lyle Alzando.
You know who Brian Bonsall is?
Who?
The little boy from Family Ties.
Oh, okay.
Michael
J.
J. Fox,
Fox.
yeah.
Okay. Magic Johnson was on the show, which again, I feel like that's a huge get.
Yeah, did he spin a basketball on his finger?
Unclear from this article.
Okay.
Roddy Piper and Sergeant Slaughter.
I remember that episode.
But that's because, you got Captain Lou on there.
Mm-hmm.
One episode, Ernie Hudson appeared as a slime buster.
Man, just let him... God damn it, Dan Aykroyd. Just let Ernie Hudson...
Be a Ghostbuster on other things. I mean, I get it on this. This was like, I'd be surprised if any of these celebrity guests were paid to
And
be on
honestly,
the show.
like, Ernie Hudson, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, this is like
Go on literally any other show.
I think this is like around when Ghostbusters 2 came out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need, come on. They didn't tell the other guys they had to go be on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Here's a weird one. Maurice LaMarche, who voiced Chief Quimby in the second season of Inspector Gadget and later went on to voice Gadget himself in Inspector Gadget's Last Case and Gadget and the Gadgetinis, which I missed at the box office. But so the guy who played at the time Chief Quimby went on this show as a live action Inspector Gadget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
Like
makes
he was
sense.
Inspector Gadget in the show, and Mario and Luigi performed surgery on him in the show.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's there to even do? You don't perform surgery. You tinker
You know
like
what,
a
though?
mechanic.
But they're plumbers.
Oh.
So maybe
they're
Inspector
qualified.
Gadget had a bunch of pipes in there and stuff.
Maurice LaMarche is like he's like one of the voice actors. Like
I would assume
done,
if he
like,
could be Chief Quimby and Inspector
yeah,
Gadget.
he's like worked consistently for like the last 40 years. He's like in everything.
Also, they had Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Has that always been one lady?
Yes. But that episode is not included in the DVDs. Probably too hot for DVDs.
Probably. They probably made a bunch of gross sex jokes that went over kids' heads.
Also, Captain Lou Albano appeared on the show, but not in the same shot as Super Mario at any time. So Luigi met Captain Lou.
That makes sense.
But Mario did not meet Captain Lou. And in the DVD release of the show, Lou Albano talked about filming these live-action skits, which mainly involved him and Danny Wells getting a central plot and improvising the dialogue.
Oh, man. Oh, brother.
Which might give some indication as to why they're unwatchable nowadays.
You don't think Captain Lou is a good improviser?
No, especially when given the constraints of like, they were probably explaining like, okay, so he lives in the Mushroom Kingdom, and Captain Lou's like, listen, I made my career wearing rubber bands on my face. Maybe Captain Lou was preparing
behind,
a burrito.
Well, I'd be honored.
And one of those...
Tom, it would be an honor.
One of those rubber bands fell off his face.
Yeah. I just hope it didn't come out of anyone's hair.
Or face. Or beard. Captain Lou would wear them in his beard. He had to shave off his beard to be Super Mario.
Can you believe that Inspector Gadget, his friggin' voice was actually Don Adams?
Yeah, because it sounds like Don Adams.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
I mean, who else are you going to get?
I thought Don Adams would be living it up at the Playboy Mansion.
You can do both.
You get Maurice LaMarche, Tom. That's who you get.
Well, that's who they got later, once Don Adams was too busy at the Playboy Mansion talking into his shoe phone.
I don't know. I think I have an outsized...
respect
for Don Adams. I think Don Adams is like this huge star. And also, he's been dead for like over a decade. But like when I was a kid, like, there was no bigger star in my mind than Don Adams. I was a real cool kid, Tom.
You would have been, if Don Adams came on as Inspector Gadget on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, that would have blown my skirt up.
I would have lost my goddamn mind.
Lou Albano and Danny Wells also played female versions of themselves, Marianne and Luigina, who were Mario and Luigi's cousins.
This sounds like a fun show.
And they also played their hillbilly cousins, Mario, Joe, and Luigi Bob.
I'd like to see that episode, actually.
Yeah, that one sounds like it's going to be pretty good.
Maybe we'll get together and watch these shows this weekend, Tom.
I didn't know. My
in-laws are in town, but I'll come to your house and watch this instead.
Well, you can invite them.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll love that.
I was unaware of this particular tidbit. There was also a show called King Koopa's Cool Cartoons, all with Ks, 4 Ks, so it's all right. It was a local American live-action children's show broadcast in Southern California during the holiday season of 1989 to 1990. The format of the show is in the tradition of classic children's television shows in the vein of Bozo the Clown.
Tom.
What?
My favorite part of every Complete Guide episode is when you drink a lot of beer and read verbatim from Wikipedia.
It's the most entertaining part. Stumbling over all the words.
Exactly.
Every third word. But they would, it was Bozo the Clown, but just a guy dressed as King Koopa.
Yeah, because kids in 1989 would have watched anything.
And then they showed public domain cartoons.
Yeah, public domain cartoons made up like 80% of children's programming when we were children.
Yeah. Well, then stuff stopped going into public domain, like Andy Capp.
Yeah, Tom, can I get off the children's show for one second? Just to this is a good segue.
I'm not familiar with the video games.
Do you know about Mr. Miyamoto? Right?
Yeah,
he created
Shigeru.
Yeah, he created Mario. But guess what? You know why it was Mario and Donkey Kong and Luigi and everything?
Because that's what he came up with.
No, he wanted to make a video game that starred Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oil. And the higher ups are like, "You idiot! You can't make these are characters. You didn't make them." And he's like, "All right, instead of Bluto, make it a freaking the ape or whatever he is.
He's
a donkey. Is he a donkey?
No. Oh, Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
No, he's King Kong.
It's a donkey, I think." And then they're like, instead of
it's
Popeye,
actually funny that like instead of Bluto, make it a incredibly thinly veiled copy of King Kong.
Right. Which when will King Kong be in the public domain?
Universal sued Nintendo over Donkey Kong.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they win?
No, they lost. Hence,
Take that, Universal.
Hence, that's how Donkey Kong got his country.
Wow.
Yeah.
From the countersuit.
From the countersuit, he was able to buy his own small island.
Tom, can we talk about something?
What?
Donkey Kong Country,
Yeah.
the best game
A very good game.
that's ever been created.
Yeah.
And I read a thing
Mm-hmm.
about the NES, Super NES Classic
Yeah.
that said
Why are you looking around conspiratorially?
it's fine. That said that
There are
this
no
game
There are a few Nintendo reps in the room, but they're
they said it was a bad game and that it was a ripoff of like Banjo and Kazooie or something.
no. That was later, because that was a
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 game.
There was something that they said it was a ripoff of, and
Donkey Kong or Super Mario, maybe. That game was not a ripoff of anything.
no.
It was just a fun game to play.
Yeah, John, can you stop dropping things, please? We're trying to record a podcast here. It's very serious. Yeah, sorry. You can go back to what you were talking about.
No,
but,
I was gonna say I never had the first Mario game that I owned. Well, I had Mario Brothers for Atari,
Atari. How old?
but that
are you?
was the I was young.
No, how old are you now? You had an Atari when you were young.
I've talked about on this show
How old you are? Tell everybody.
No, the great Atari mistake that I made as a child.
Tom Reynolds in The Great Atari Mistake.
Yeah. One of the biggest mistakes of my life, which was when I came of the age to have video games, like I didn't know that there was like a difference between systems, and that like some games were on some systems and some weren't on others.
That's how you wound up a Sega kid.
Yeah.
A real trash bucket.
But
A real piece of shit.
but they had commercials, and I remember seeing one of these commercials. I remember seeing it on Jeopardy. My parents were watching Jeopardy, and it was a commercial for the Atari 7800, I think is what it was. 72 or 7800.
Cool nomenclature.
I forget which one it was.
No, I'm not saying it's you. It's just like, why do you have to
Yeah.
name them these random numbers? Just like,
I remember 2600 was like but then there was, I think it was 7200.
man, they more than tripled it.
That's what they wanted you to think. But in this commercial, there was a song about how the system was $49.
Wow.
And as a kid, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like
Yeah, but $49,1986 is like
$10,000.
$10,000 from what I understand.
And I was just like, "Oh, that sounds great. That's the system I want. That's that's what I want." And it was outdated by I got it as a kid, and it was already obsolete. And then everybody else had NESs, and I was very upset.
Tom,
So I didn't have a Mario game until I had a Game Boy.
this was your story?
I had a Game Boy. I had Mario Land, and then it wasn't until I got a Super Nintendo, and that came with. Actually, the Super Nintendo I got did not come with Super Mario World, but I bought it at Funko Land for like $5.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
can we go through all the video games featuring Mario?
Well, that's going to be too many. There's like
Donkey
500.
Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 2,
Tim, are you stuttering? What's going on?
Mario's Cement Factory. Do you know about this game?
Oh, they leaned heavy into his mob ties in that game.
All right. That was in 1983. Mario's Bombs Away. Mario Brothers, which was... I remember like getting the opportunity to play Mario Brothers when I was like 7 years old, and I was like, "This sucks! This game sucks!"
Yeah, it's not nearly as much fun as Super Mario.
Yeah,
You realize what makes it super.
Super Mario Brothers was like the 20th game that Mario was in.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah,
He didn't even have a name at first. He was just Jumpman.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 2, which I never got into. Because it's
you mean
weird.
Doki Doki Panic?
What's Doki Doki Panic?
That's the original. That's the game that they base it on.
Now it's a play. It's not a real game. That's the scuttlebutt around the millennials these days.
What?
That it's like the whole thing wasn't an actual thing. It's
that the game. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, it has curtains and stuff.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but it makes a lot of sense. Well, it's a dream at the end. Spoilers, but at the end,
Yeah.
it's a dream.
Oh no, 3 is the play.
Three is the one that has
curtains.
curtains. Yeah. Okay.
3 is the best game there is.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, like theatrically, meaning taking place in a theater. Boy, that's a hell of a play.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, I mean, stagecraft alone to move
Yeah.
all those elements in and out.
Yeah. Imagine the
That'd be a thing to see.
Tom. He makes an appearance in Tetris, in Alleyway, in baseball, Super Mario Land, which was a Game Boy game.
Did you mention Wrecking Crew?
I did mention. I didn't. I saw it on the list. And I didn't know
Now
what it
I don't
was.
know. Our friend Dan had Wrecking Crew growing up, and
Friend of the show, Dan Deacon.
and he said when you beat the game, a screen came up with a place to send a letter, and they'd send you a hat.
Did you and Dan and AJ just lie to each other constantly?
That's all we did.
Why didn't Dan have that hat then? Dan, if you're listening, which I know you're not, where's the hat?
I forget if he said that they wrote him back and they said they were out of them, or if he said they sent him the hat and he lost it. Either way, I'm sure he was telling the truth. Yeah, I mean, our childhood, me, Dad, and AJ hung out every day and just lied to each other.
You told AJ you had a hoverboard, and then when he came to call you on it, the
Yeah.
first time you guys ever hung out when you were in first grade, you told him it was in the shop.
I walked him to the garage first. And then,
You're like, think, Reynolds, think.
no, literally, because it was like a shared garage. Like,
So you saw AJ. You met AJ on the playground.
Yeah.
You bragged that you had a real working hoverboard.
yeah.
You didn't know AJ from Adam.
No.
AJ shows up at your house later that day after school. It was like, hey, why don't we see this hoverboard? I'd like to ride your hoverboard.
Yeah, like
you
my mom.
panic.
Yeah, my mom was like, "There's a little boy here to see you. He says he knows you from school." And I was like, "Oh, of course. You must be here to see the hoverboard."
You must be my colleague AJ.
Yeah. And I thought I would come up with something on the short walk, like the 30-foot walk to the garage,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
It's still friends to this day.
Yeah.
The godfather of his son.
He doesn't have a son, and I'm not the godfather.
One day, if he ever has a son, he'll be the godfather.
He sent me an email yesterday about a bad dream he had, though,
Nice.
that I was involved in. We were all hanging out at a party, and but there was a guy there who had mind control.
Tom, I don't want to hear about a third party's dream. We have so many games to get through. Tom, we haven't talked about Dr. Mario. We haven't talked about any of the Mario Karts.
I talked
We haven't
about
talked
Dr. Mario. I
Mario
talked
is
about the
missing.
time him and Luigi fixed Inspector Gadget.
Did you ever play Mario is Missing? You play as goddamn Luigi the whole time.
Yeah, but it's
You go
like
to,
a
like, art
learning game.
museums. Yeah, it
It's
sucks.
stupid.
Mario's Time Machine. Tom, we have to do another episode on Mario because we're out of time here.
Yeah.
But what the hell was this episode?
You know what? It was a look into the psyche of Mario.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
You can, in the new game, you can play, you can be Mario in his underwear. He still has to wear a hat, though. Makes him-
Cappy.
yeah.
It's written into Cappy's contract.
One of the caps.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario is a super fun game.
Mario Golf.
Yeah.
Mario is Missing.
You can also
Like,
play
say that again.
a lot of time. Like when I play this new Mario game, here's the costume I like to wear: Mario in his underwear, but then his hat is a captain's hat, like Sully.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You just want to see Sully in his underpants.
And this is as close as I'm gonna get.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying anything, but maybe you should renew your Playgirl subscription.
Man,
That
Playgirl should get Sully.
Sully in
Jeez,
Playgirl.
I'd buy a copy of Playgirl if it had
fly
Sully.
Off the goddamn
Yeah,
shelves.
it wouldn't even have to be explicit.
No,
In fact, I'd prefer they leave a little to the
I
imagination.
just want to buy some pictures of Sully in his flight suit.
I don't. Well, Tim, you'd be lucky if you got one picture of him in his flight suit. I think the rest it would be various stages of undress.
I'm not looking for that. I just want to see him in.
I don't think he'd ever take that captain's hat off, though.
I'd like to see him in a captain's hat, but like at different angles.
Oh, like when he's off the clock?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to get drunk with Sully. I bet he's a fun drunk.
Oh, I bet he could drink us under the table and fly a plane
His
right
name's
into the river.
goddamn Sully.
Yeah.
He's just definitely an alcoholic.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can email us, thecompleteguideeverything@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/completeguide. Follow us on Twitter @CompleteGuide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
Follow me on those things at Your Pal Tim.
And if you want to support the show, support our sponsors. They're great. Also, check out tcgt.com/Amazon for your normal everyday Amazon shopping. That also helps us. And tcgt.com/pledge, where you can support the show through Patreon and get weekly mini episodes like Fast Food Friday, the Justice League Minute, the Riverdale Review.
TCGTE Backstage. That's,
all
that's
kinds
the one
of.
that just dropped. We're all caught up on that too.
There's like
so
a whole other network.
It really is. It's a bizarre network.
Yeah.
I think next week might be Don Adams. A love letter to Don Adams.
Yeah. The Don Adams.
Imagine Don Adams and Sully as roommates.
As my roommates?
No, like
a Three's
show
Company
that you watch
situation?
on TV, yeah.
Don Adams and oh boy, that would be our generation's odd couple. Yeah.
I don't know because they're both kind of they're both on the straight
Well,
and narrow.
one's long dead.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a Weekend at Bernie's situation where Sully had to convince somebody that Don Adams was still alive.
I think that'd be depressing. I don't want to see that. I don't think he'd do that good of a job.
No. I don't know. Sully, look.
He's
Sully
good under
can
pressure.
pretty much do anything. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't underestimate him. And don't underestimate
That was a HeadGum podcast.